Hey fellas, this is 265 Chevy here, two-car garage. This is going to be part one of the T5 breakdown. It's probably 7:30 at night or whatever. What I'm going to show y'all here is just a breakdown of the transmission, and then discuss it as we go through it. Pretty much what you're going to need is common sockets. 7:30 at night, so I'm not going to crank up the air compressor. Hopefully y'all can hear me. Basic sockets, 10 millimeter. What is this? 15 millimeter and 13 millimeter. You're going to need that to break down. The transmission needs to be in neutral, always in neutral. So it's in neutral. So the first thing we're going to take off is going to be the shifting mechanism, and I think that's a 14. So we'll bust that loose. Hopefully y'all in the camera. Just make sure y'all in the camera. It's in the camera. Yeah, it's in the camera. So we're going to do a 14 first. 4 bolts. What you want to do is grab a bag and put everything in this bag. I'll do that after it's taken apart. We're going to do this transmission in sections. We're going to rebuild the bottom section first. That's how we're going to do this. First of all, we're going to take it all apart, and then I'm not going to video that the part that the whole casing and everything's going to need to be real clean. So I usually clean it out like with mineral spirits or whatever. So that's going to be in another day. Tonight we're just going to take it apart. So 4 bolts comes out, and then this comes out. Let me go put that over here. Okay. I don't know if y'all can see this. And show y'all right here. There's a pin. So the pin needs to be knocked out. So you knock the pin out. Just goes. You can pull that out. That ain't no big deal. Pull that out. That's all in the kit. I got a kit. I'll tell you the kit. Name of the kit. You knock the pin completely out, and you pull this straight forward. Then this piece will come out, and then you can unbolt and pull this whole thing out. So let me unbolt this, and then we'll knock out the pin. These are 15 millimeter bolts. I already broke them loose earlier. If you have air tools, it'll be a lot easier with air tools. So you pull out the 15 millimeter bolts. When you put it back together, some of these bolts go into the oil journals of the transmission, so they have sealing on them. I think it's the top ones that do, but I usually put sealing on all of them. So you pull out these bolts, and this is going to break apart the first half of the casing. Now I have a video on how to take it all apart. It comes with the kit. Of course, I watched the video 3-4 times already, so I kind of have an idea on how to do it. But when I put it all together, I'll have my computer set up over there somewhere, and I'll be able to watch the video as I put it all back together. I'm not a pro at this. This is just how I do it. We'll just kind of work with this together. Y'all be able to get a few laughs, because believe me, I'm probably not going to do this 100% right. But my first T5 transmission that I'm doing. So I'm new at this. So if I can do it, pretty much anybody else can do it. Just gotta take your time, mark all put everything in bags, make sure that you know where everything goes, put it all back together. But with the video, There's a couple of videos out on YouTube that it's some pretty good videos. Okay, so all the bolts are out. I'm gonna put them all over here. I kind of see the paper on the bench. Have the same thing over there. Have the same thing over there. So so what you do? I kind of put everything in order as I take them out. So I kind of have an idea how the order goes back. Looks like a 3/16 dowel pin. So you can get a little hammer. Knock the dowel pin down. Knock it all the way down till you hear that little tap tap. You can kind of hear that. That means it's all the way down. So move that forward. Now what you do, you pull that piece forward, which I'll show you. See how the piece pulled forward? Now you can tap this out, which will pull this forward, which means the whole piece will come off. You see how I did that? There's a ball, a spring, and the little tab will be underneath there, a little dowel pin. So what you want to use is like a rubber mallet. Now, so you tap it forward, like so, and then you'll be able to get the rest of it out. Here's the piece. Here's your spring. Here's the ball. A little ball. And here's the dowel pin. It has to be in neutral. Very, very important. Because if you knock that pin in and it ain't neutral, the pin's not going to come out. And you're going to have a hard time taking this thing apart. It says that in the video. A lot of those parts you're going to in the kit gives you brand new pin and all that other stuff. So you pull that off. We're going to put this to the side. So we're going to need to take out the seal, and there's a bushing up in here that we're going to need to punch out. So we're going to put that over here, and we'll get that to it in a little bit. Okay, the next part, you want to take off the case. It's a 10 millimeters. So we're going to take off the top of the case. Okay, some of these boats right here, you see it's different than this boat. There's two of these. So it goes in a special location that, you know, puts the top in its location where it needs to be. Now all this normally has silicone around it, so if it's a little hard, just knock on it and it'll come off. Don't try prying on the surface because it's a machine surface, and you'll scar it or whatever, and you have potential for leaks. So you don't want to be prying on it. Just knock on it and it'll come. Same thing with here. It's silicone, black silicone you can use. That's normal. They don't have no gaskets on this transmission, so that's what normally it has. And you just wiggle this, and you can pop it off. And there's the other bolt. So it's the two corners that those bolts are in. All those bolts need to be clean, and then I usually put them through a wire brush and then clean all the threads and everything. Okay, on the top, everything's in neutral, which you can see. Everything's in neutral. That's how you can tell if it's in neutral. All of it turns. So it's in neutral as of right now. Now what you want to do is pull the top towards you. Oh, come on. Don't want to come. Supposed to be in neutral. Hope I got it in neutral. Okay, you pull it that way, and then you pull it out. See? Told you I didn't know everything. The opposite way. Pull it that way, and you put it on. Put it on that way, and then you come back towards me. That's how you put it back on. I'm pulling it the wrong way. Okay, so what you want to check, you got these plastic on the ship forks. There's little plastic pieces; those get replaced. You want to check. I don't know if y'all can see this. Hope I got it right. Let's see. Yeah, on the inside of the forks, this is where it normally cracks. So you want to check all up in here and everything, and then you want to just look at everything, wash everything. This looks pretty good. And you can take it apart and clean it, or you can leave it together. I'm just going to clean it as is and then put it back on. Okay. This is what you're looking at. What we're going to do is rebuild the bottom. So now we're going to take this piece out, but we have to disassemble this first. We're going to take this off. We'll take that off. This is actually a plug that comes on from the factory. Don't really need to put it back, but I'm going to put it back. So that goes on. Then here's your speedometer gear, and that comes off, and then we can pull this piece out. Need one of these, a spreader. I call them a spreader. Pull that like that. Pull that off. Let me go put that in its place. These can come off. This can come off. Let me get a rag. Haven't been making a lot of videos. Went to Arkansas, had a good time. Got sick and wasn't feeling good. Haven't really been feeling good lately. Doing a lot of different things. All right, on this gear, you press down. They got like a little clip. I'll show you all that. See the little clip right here? There's a little clip. You pull the clip down, and then you pull the gear off. It's a little bit hard to go off. Use a little hammer, and it'll come off pretty easily. There you go. And here's the little clip. You got a new clip. Don't come with a gear, but it does come with a clip. So take that, put it in your pile. Parts to be cleaned. Okay. Now what you do, we're going to turn the transmission around. We're going to pull off these bolts, which I think are 14s, which they are. No, 13, excuse me. Pull those bolts off. I've had this transmission apart already. It's not the first time I took it apart. But had other things going on, so I just kind of threw it half-assed back together. You know, so things wouldn't rust and stuff like that. What we're going to do, we're going to rebuild the bottom end of the transmission first, and then this all gets silicone too, but we're going to clean everything first, and I'm not going to video any of that. I mean, y'all pretty much know how to clean stuff and whatever, but I'll show you how to do, you know, there'll probably be like 3 or 4 videos on how to do this. Pops out like so. You got a race up in here that goes on the bearing. The race gets replaced. They got a seal. The seal gets replaced. So all that gets replaced. So all that needs to be taken apart. Which the race and everything just fell out. You got it's called a spacer. You know, that's where you get your end play from. You got one here, and you have one, and you have another one. I forgot where it is. I think it's on that side for the bottom. So, you know, it checks your end play, so you have to check all that. The kit comes with a lot of different spaces, so you got you want 0 end play, but you know, I'll show you all that when I start putting it back together. On what to go to race, and then the thing goes up in here and steel. Okay, so this comes out. There's a groove, which you can see here. See that groove? Right there? There's a groove, and you turn that to go right over that gear, just like that. And then this, the shaft, that shaft will come out. So like I said, there's a groove, and it comes out just like that. Okay. Here, there's a spacer. There's a bearing. And right up in here, they would have a bunch of roller bearings that's held in by grease. And I'll show them to you. And that's these. Okay, these roller bearings go all up in here, and pretty much the way they sit just like that. You get all brand new roller bearings in the kit, and you put a little grease in there, and you take the bearings out. So that's how that goes. This goes right here, and then there's a washer, a thrust washer, that the bearing rides on. So it goes just like that, and that goes back up in there like so. So the bearing rides on the washer, just like that. And then the bearing rides on the part up in there. So let me go put that over there. Got a new bearing in the kit. Just gets this bearing gets what you call it, doing thing, the press. You got to press this bearing on and off. So that's why I went and bought a press, so I can do this instead of going to pay somebody else to do it. So I bought my press at Harbor Freight. It's a 20-pound press, 20-ton press, excuse me. And then all that gets cleaned up, and you press a new bearing on that one. Okay, let me pull this back around. Okay, you can wiggle it. Okay. Now we got to take off the fifth gear, which is that. So there is I forgot what you call it, the little thing. Sorry about that, fellas. I'm not let me pull this off. Let me get that tool. Snap ring plier. Snap ring plier. That's what you need. That's what it is, snap ring. So you pull the snap ring off. Yeah, the snap ring. There's a pin right here. You gotta knock that pin out. There's a couple of different ways of taking this apart, but the one I remember is this one. that pin out. This goes right here. And what you want to do is pull the level off like so. And you want to kind of keep this all together. It's all one assembly. That's shift fork. That's for your fifth gear. This is your fifth gear right there. And this comes off. That's one of your rings. My problem is I don't know the name of all the shit. And then you want to slide your fifth gear off. That's your fifth gear. Just like so. And which looks pretty good. Clean it all up. Put that over here. Alright, so now you can take out your main shaft. This is your retainer and your main shaft. Comes out something like this. Very carefully if you can. And there's your main shaft. Put that on the side. This is going to be a completely different rebuild. I ain't taking none of the main shaft stuff apart. Like I said, we're going to do the bottom of the case first. What I'm going to do is replace the bearing in here and the bearing over there. So all this needs to be taken apart, all cleaned up, and then we're going to put the bottom part of the case back together before we even fool with the main shaft. So that's why this is going to be in multiple videos. Alright, so let's put the main shaft over here. Pull out your shift rod, but this is your shift rod. Check it all out.